Maniacs, welcome back to the channel, your local bedhead here. So we got some really big news. It was dropped last night by Jason Hawes, and then after that, more posts came out. The Conjuring house is shut down. I don't know the reasons. I mean, I have a guess of what the reasons are, but I wouldn't say it was probably anything to do with the owner, the way she's been acting. I would say that probably has something to sort of do with it, I guess. But in legal aspects, I mean, there's just a lot of things that are going on that are in general just against the law if you're trying to run a business. I mean, withholding money from people that you clearly owe money to, your employees, and just a lot of unfair, unjust things that have happened. And of course, everything that has to do with the owner and just safety reasons. We don't want nobody going there and getting hurt because that could happen. Regardless of how you feel about this, regardless if you are one of those people who are just pissed off at the world because you see it as somebody making profit off of someone's mental health. But at the same time, if you're genuinely somebody who gives a shit about the well-being of other people, you would notice this and be like, yeah, we probably shouldn't let anybody probably go near this person if we can help it, as long as she's owning this current location. And it's a location that a lot of people really seem to want to go visit. So it can be a very precautious kind of thing. And whether you believe that it was mental health, the alcohol addiction, or which does play a bit into the mental health stuff, or even a possession. Hell, if you believe that this is really a possession, why would you want someone to go there anyways? I personally, I do not believe it is a possession, and I think it's dangerous to even kind of give that idea that it's a possession, because clearly this is not a possession. It's just not. There's a difference between somebody who's actually really facing some really serious mental health issues and addiction problems with the alcohol, and then somebody who's possessed by an inhuman spirit. And you could use the excuse that the inhuman spirit wants you to think that it's, just playing around and stuff and not taking it seriously and not making her levitate and slamming her up against the walls and stuff. But at the same time, it's like that's also a good excuse to, cover up for what really is going on here. And it's just not a good thing. In my opinion, you shouldn't be doing that because clearly this person does need help. Now this person has nothing that should be holding them back from seeking the help they need to seek. That, to me, is a huge win. Is it sad? Is it heartbreaking that this person has to now, let go of their business? Yes, it's not fun. It's heartbreaking in a sense. It's sad. Of course, I completely stand behind that. No one wanted to see this. We all wanted to see her strive and do better, but that just wasn't going to happen. She was too proud and too confident and just overall had an ego because of this place, and that's not good for her. We're going to go ahead and dive into the article by the Providence Journal, which is the local journal out there, and hear what they have to say, and I'll give you guys my thoughts during and after. State files order to close the Conjuring house for business. Here's why. All right. Providence. The State Department of Labor and Training has ordered the Conjuring house to close, alleging that the business run out of the inspiration, the 2013 horror movie The Conjuring, has been operating without workers' compensation insurance since May. Which I had a feeling it was going to be revolved around probably the fact that she has been pulling that kind of stuff. The department issued a stop work order on October 22nd after an investigation found that the Conjuring house had at least one employee and that it did not have workers' compensation insurance coverage on file with the department, which is pretty bad. Pretty fucking bad. It ordered the Conjuring house to immediately suspend the operation of its business and remain suspended until it provided proof of insurance. Conjuring house owner Jacqueline Nunez told the Providence Journal via text last week that she wasn't required to have workers' compensation. The stop work ahead names Nunez and a corporation owned by her that owns the Conjuring house, Bale Fire LLC, which does go along, again, if people want to say that this is not her, this is fake, and that actually does go along with how she's been acting. Of course she told him that she didn't have to have it. Of course she did. Because everything she says has to go that way. She just would rather be the one in the right. That's the problem. She's very narcissistic, and she has to be the one who is in the right. And no matter what anybody tells her, no matter even if the law tells her that what she's doing is wrong, she doesn't see it that way. All she can see is that whatever she's doing is the right because the world revolves around her. That is the person she is, and that is clearly the person she has displayed. Whether it is on camera or off camera, that is the person she has displayed. The order came to light last week after the department filed suit in workers' compensation court to enforce its order to levy fines against Nunes. That case is scheduled for a pre-trial hearing November 26, which we are really coming up to real fast. Yeah, the latest in a series of challenges around the Conjuring House. The stop work order is the latest in a series of recent challenges for Nunes and the Conjuring House business. Nunes told the Providence Journal that she had been committed for psychiatric care to Landmark Medical Center in July and used to Fatima Hospital in September. Well, now I know why she kept mentioning Fatima and how apparently they were killing thousands of people. Probably because she was not happy that she got committed into Fatima Hospital. On October 23rd, Nunes was notified that Burrillville Police Chief Colonel Stephen J. Lynch, one of several town officials who reviewed the business license, had rejected her application to renew the entertainment license that allows her to operate the Conjuring House as a business. The town council, the licensing authority in town, is scheduled to decide the matter on November 18th, which is 4 days away from now. Something tells me this is the end of the Conjuring House, as it currently stands. This Nunes reign is coming to a pretty big end. It was built up. I think this is it. I think it's officially coming to an end. No workers' comp. She got denied to renew her license, her business license, and with this police footage out there, she has a criminal record now. She has a criminal record. I just don't see this opening back up for her. So she's really blown it. She's really, unfortunately, blown it here. On October 28th, Nunes was charged by the Burrillville Police with driving under the influence. The matter is scheduled for a pre-trial conference on December 17th in District Court, Providence. It's unfortunate. It is. I don't like hearing it. I really don't. I'm glad that the place is finally closed down because now people don't have to worry about paying the money and going there and getting ripped off or worse, God forbid that ever happened, but you never know. And it's still, I guess something could still happen, and I'm sure she's not going to be happy about this. She's not happy about this. State files order to close the Conjuring House. This is literally the worst case scenario for her. I'm not sure if she's actually going to cooperate and close it down or if she's going to try to run the business still. I don't know. That's just up to her, I guess. But I would really advise not to because I'm sure you could go and spend a couple weeks in prison or jail for doing that, especially when they told you to close it down. But yeah, it really it looks like they actually shut it down. They actually shut it down. All right, so we're going to go ahead and head on over to YouTube and watch Jason Hawes' video because he posted a video, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on that. But as it stands right now, this was no surprise. It was inevitable. It was going to happen no matter what because clearly and obviously everybody has taken notice. And look, if I was living in Rhode Island, I don't think I would be comfortable knowing that this business is being ran by someone like this. I really don't. I would be scared to hear a horrible story, the next morning. Oh, did you hear about at the Conjuring House? It's like, fuck, what happened? That stuff could happen. And look, when you see signs early on, you should take them. You should take them to heart at least. Just say, hey, we've noticed some things. We're not really comfortable, and we think you might need help. And don't take it like we think you're psychotic or anything. People want to say that. People think that we're poking a bear or something like that. It's like, not really. It's just when something doesn't go through someone's head, and it's clearly, obviously, the head of somebody who's a narcissist is not going to make it easy, even when arrested. I just don't understand. And when they've been committed a couple times for psychiatric help, they don't see it that way. They don't see it as help. They see it as people just really trying to shut them up. That's how I view this. She thinks people are trying to shut her up, and that's not the case. Look, I'm sure one day when all of this blows over, she's going to look back on this entire thing and be like, I really fucked up. I'm sure. I had an awesome opportunity to run one of the most coolest buildings in all of Rhode Island. I had an awesome gig. It was fantastic. And I let my problems, my shit get to me. I let people's word of mouth get to me. And I let people's criticisms get to me. And at the end of the day, I decided to just let it all out. My ego got the best of me. I started making public posts. I started saying certain things. I tried to defend my business, and I may have gone about it in the wrong way and really insulted some people and for their opinions. Nobody would be making videos if all the stuff that happened just calmed down and she apologized and they, if she had actually gotten a grip of everything she had done previous to what's just happened and just started to apologize and started to just make statements like, guys, I really have been letting everything get to me and I apologize. I let my emotions get the better of me and I just started taking it out on everyone. Then I think this would have blown over. I think it would have been good videos. There would have been people saying that, oh, we are so proud of you, for at least acknowledging that you might have taken it a little bit too far. And unfortunately, again, with a narcissistic attitude like she has, she doesn't see it that way.
Hey everybody, Jason Hawes here. Well, it looks like the day has come that's been being spoken about. So we've tried to get help for Miss Nunez, the owner of the Conjuring House. Every time we've done it, we've been attacked.
I love how every time we say Jacqueline Nunez now, we have to emphasize it with the owner of the Conjuring House. Because that's kind of like just how she's kind of presented herself anymore. I'm Jacqueline Nunez, the owner of the Conjuring House. Well, Jacqueline Nunez, the owner of the Conjuring House, it's kind of gotten to that point where it's like she's used it so many times, it's like almost hard not to say it.
We, even more emails that have been sent recently, just actually as of yesterday and the day before, and the list goes on, and we just turn the stuff in. But I've been warning people for a long time that they're going to get screwed, and or that there's going to be issues, and to avoid at all costs. But it looks like now the state has stepped in.
Yeah.
And it's only one department of the state. Let me show you what we're talking about here. So, the state of Rhode Island, the state files orders to close the Conjuring House for business. Here's why. So, this is from the Providence Journal, which is a Rhode Island-based paper out here. It's the biggest one out here. So, Providence, the State Department of Labor and Training has ordered the Conjuring House to close, alleging the business ran out. It's been run out of the inspiration of the 2013 horror movie The Conjuring, has been operating without workers' compensation insurance since May. The department issued a stop work order on October 22nd. So, and she's still been doing business. So let's just make that aware. After an investigation found that the Conjuring House had at least one employee, which, to be honest with you, there's been many, and that it did not have workers' compensation insurance coverage on file with the department. It ordered the Conjuring House to immediately suspend the operation of its...
Can I just say that one employee who still was working there? I mean, look, quitting a job is not that easy. In some situations, in some cases, that person probably found themselves so lucky to have such a cool gig working at the Conjuring House, and they needed the money, and they were like, man, I'm so happy with what we got here. And maybe they love history. Maybe they have their reasons. Maybe they're like, I'm such a fan of this location, and it's part of Rhode Island culture. I mean, it's just part of Rhode Island history. And I don't want to really quit. And that person stuck with her this entire time, props to them, because everybody else seems like they quit. They left. They're gone for obvious reasons. I don't really blame that person. And look, when you fire somebody or when you quit a job, it's not easy because that's someone's livelihood. That's someone's pay. That's someone's... And even if, they weren't getting paid, they probably thought at some point they were going to get paid. So I'm sure this person, whoever it is, probably is owed a lot of money. I'm not sure if they were getting paid or not, but whoever it is, I mean, I'm sorry that, you have to probably go out and find another job.
Business and remain suspended until it provided proof of insurance. Conjuring House owner Jacqueline Nunez told the Providence Journal via text last week that she wasn't required to have workers' compensation. It's amazing to me. Okay. The stop work order names Nunez and a corporation owned by her that owns the Conjuring House and Balefire LLC. This goes on. The order came to light last week after the department filed suit in a workers' compensation court to enforce its orders and to levy fines against Nunez. That case is scheduled for a pretrial hearing November 26th. The latest in a series of challenges around the Conjuring House. The stop work order is the latest in a series of recent challenges for Nunez and the Conjuring House business. Nunez told the Providence Journal that she had been committed for psychiatric care at the Landmark Medical Center in July and a Fatima Hospital in September. Um, October 23rd, Nunes was notified that Burrillville Police Chief Stephen J. Lynch, one of several town officials that reviewed business license,
And
had
rejected.
rejected her application to renew the entertainment license that allows her to operate the Conjuring House as a business. The town council, the licensing authority in the town, is scheduled to decide the matter November 18th. On October 28th, Nunes was charged by the Burrillville Police with driving under the influence. The matter is scheduled for a pretrial conference date December.
Which, after watching that full uncut raw footage, I mean, ridiculous. Ridiculous. Granted, she was under the influence and drunk, but the way she was acting, still unacceptable. Unacceptable behavior to act towards those police officers, which were as patient. They were saints. Those police officers in that situation, the patience they had with her, the fact that they kept trying to let her do the tests and everything, and even knowing they knew she was going to fail miserably, I'm sure, they kept letting her have an opportunity to change, but she kept laughing in their faces, insulting them. I couldn't believe the amount of patience they had.
December 17th in District Court, Providence. Now, why this is also a big issue is she has not been refunding people money. As gentleman Scott, who dealt with that recently, some videos were posted. You can check those out on Simply Strange Ben's page. And she promised to refund the money, but she has promised that
I haven't watched every single video. I don't know every single thing that's gone on with the Conjuring House. I don't feel like I have to make a video for every single thing that's happened, because I just don't want all my content to be revolved around the Conjuring House, obviously. Normally when the big things happen, like the full-on, police camera footage, that was pretty big, or maybe this, and I actually am thinking about maybe I wanted to start doing more police cam footage stuff. Been making like content for every single thing that's happened. I know some people do, and if that's what you want to do, that's fine, that's cool, I get it. But for me, I tackle certain big things like this, like where I find out that, oh, they're actually going to close the business. It's like, okay, well, that's something. If there's a news coverage, like it's actually on the news, I tend to watch that stuff too. But yeah, I haven't heard what Jason, I don't think, is talking about.
People, and she hasn't.
Wait. Scott is the one who went into the building. I actually did. I remember I actually did cover this, actually. So I think Scott is the one who went into the Conjuring House building. I have not watched the footage yet. I think I might have gotten a message from Scott reaching out to me to actually react to that stuff. So I might do that, because he reached out and asked me. So I might do that and take a look at it and see what happened. But I have not watched that footage yet. And people, again, were asking me if I wanted to, and I just haven't gotten to it. So I might attempt to do that here soon.
Nobody's gotten a refund. People have flown across the country, come to find out they can't get in.
God, that would piss me off so bad. Imagine like the boys coming from Australia just to do a Conjuring House investigation, and they paid like $1,000-something, and they got all their equipment, they got all their stuff. They drive up there and they can't even get inside the building. Imagine if that happened. You know how pissed off a lot of people would be, a lot of boys fans would be to hear about that or something like that. Yeah, it's people spend a lot of money just to come out here. And it's not even just the payment of like the investigation, but the payment of actually like getting a plane ticket, flying out here, the gas that's going to get you to get here, and the food and the hotels and stuff just to stay out here until you're done with your investigation, just to not get into it. I mean, that would piss anybody off.
And then they're told, well, we'll refund your money, or you can book another day and additional cost. And that never happens. And this was one of my...
No, if I book one day and I get rejected that day, and they say, you can book another day for additional cost, I would say, fuck you. I paid you the money. Now you're going to get me in here, and I ain't going to pay a dime more. Like, that's exactly what I would say. And that would piss me off so bad. You're going to try to like rake more money out of my pocket for something that you fucked up on? Fuck that. No way.
Two concerns when it came down to people still going to the Conjuring House. And now, as we see, the business is actually being shut down by the state. And that's only one faction or one area of the state. I think it's going to come from numerous directions at this point. And I foresee that she's probably still going to try to keep on going with business. But here's another issue. So I guess she's dealt with Fair Harbor. Some people have reached out to Fair Harbor. Some people who have been looking for refunds and haven't gotten any. who have paid money but never got what they paid for. So Fair Harbor, I guess, is shut down the account. They've suspended their dealings with Miss Nunez, the Conjuring House, and Balefire, whatever you want to call it, which now means that they don't even have a way to take in money. So this comes to another issue where, okay, now are people going to go to a website and pay? They're going to pay her direct. Are they going to give her cash? I mean, all these things mean that there's going to be no receipts, no way for you to protect yourself financially.
Don't do it. Stay away. Stay away. That's scary. That's scary. Don't do it. Please, for the love of God, don't do it. My God. Bluntly and simply put, stay away. Keep your money in your pocket. Wait. It will open up again someday, hopefully. There's no need for you to take that risk. If you're a big YouTuber and want to do a Conjuring House video for next year's Halloween, just give it time. There are other places that have better reasonable prices. I do believe that, in a sense, that this could be karma. The business is now shutting down after a full year. 2 years now, actually. 2 years of that happening. The business has never been in a worse situation. It almost feels like karma, doesn't it? And Jacqueline Nunez, I full on believe, was aware of a lot of the crap and the shit that was going on. 100%. I know there's a lot of people out there who are always telling me, you have no proof Satori and Cody are faking. I think the proof is in the pudding. I think the proof is just so obviously shown, right? When someone gets caught in a lie, they don't like to answer certain things. They don't like to prove certain things. They don't like to show certain things. They don't like to do this. They don't like to do that. And for obvious reasons, do you know why they don't want to do that? Because they know the second they even try, they are going to be proven as false. And they can't take that risk. So those are my reasons why I don't buy it. And look, I have yet to see something that shows me otherwise. Footage, okay, I did see the footage of the 360 stuff. To me, it looked too set up. It looked like an area that was too perfect for someone to fake something.
Losing this money. We just received things about a week and a half ago where she sent us, I don't even understand why, all her information to show us how much she's brought in from the Conjuring House, from people taking tours and so forth. I mean, and let's just say that it was well over $500,000. Okay. And that, how many of those people never got what they paid for and just have kept quiet? I mean,
Isn't that fucked up? Look how much money I made, guys, off my business. Yeah, by literally ripping the money out of these customers' hands and not even giving them the tours that you promised.
We've seen 20, 30, 40 people come forward so far. Again, been a big concern. We didn't want people to be screwed financially. So if you have booked the Conjuring House, you may want to contact whoever. If you've paid any money, you're going to need to contact your credit card company or your bank and show them this information. Because as of right now, her accounts were shut down because of the things going on, because of the constant complaints. The business is supposedly supposed to shut down. So you have no way to protect yourself unless you contact your credit card company or your bank. And I know a lot of people have paid prior, which again is scary because I don't want people to lose out on money. And of course, the second reason behind all of this is, you know, for people's safety, whether it's financially or physical, but also I don't want anybody to get hurt. And it's more and more appearing that way. And another scary thing is where this is going. The state's going to shut her down. The banks are shutting her down. There's going to be issues. I mean, this is not going to be positive. I mean, a bunch of us got attacked a week and a half ago. Supposedly that we got her shut down. We didn't. We had nothing to do with it. This is her own doing. We've tried to help her out for the longest time, even after the attacks, even after the claim.
How many times do you give someone a second chance? You shouldn't do it too often because obviously if that person's not showing any signs of changing, you shouldn't keep giving them second chances. And people are always like, oh, you guys are just bullying her. Guys, how many times have they tried to help her? What, you want them to leave her alone and just let her keep thinking the way she's acting is okay and rational? Of course not. No. No, you don't do that, especially to someone that they might have considered a friend at some point. And clearly, these people probably did. I'm sure they probably thought, she was actually a nice lady back then, and they saw signs and were like, hey, she's acting kind of odd. And they tried to, put their hand out and help her out. Like,
Games. She's still sending messages to people saying that I tried to take her out, which is ridiculous, and which makes her liable. And people just, when I say you need to avoid that place, I'm not saying it as a means to try to hurt her. I'm saying it as a means to try to protect everyone else, including her, to be honest. So
oh
this
yeah,
is a big
no, in a physical, like if she ever like assaulted somebody, I mean, someone could literally like fucking full on knock her out. I mean, if she's acting as unhinged as she is, yeah, it could save herself a lot of trouble too. Could you imagine if she started giving someone an attitude at the Conjuring House, and all of a sudden that person is the wrong person you should be giving an attitude to, and they're like, hey, how about you fuck off or something, and then she shoves them, and she actually like full on throat punches her or something, self defense, right? I mean that shit. Oh yeah, yeah. It's literally stopping future altercations or the possibility of her like just going off on the deep end. And apparently, with that video Scott put out there, she started to do something like that. She started to make it very known that she had a problem, and yeah, you can't risk that shit. No, no. If I was at the Conjuring House and all of a sudden this owner starts coming out and started saying all this shit, talking about how I'm like spying on her and all that stuff, I would literally leave. I'd be like, all right, we're just gonna pack up our stuff and get out. I wouldn't even risk it. Nope. Especially if I had some people with me. Like if my friend Cinnamon was with me, I would, or Joe, or my buddy Lane, I'd be like, yeah, fuck this. We're not taking that risk.
big concern. Again, the state has now filed papers. They sent a stop order, so she's not supposed to be doing business. So we're making this video on, November 13th. So she's received that weeks ago, and I know for a fact that there's been events that have gone on there, that other people have shown up there.
Wow.
So she's still doing business, even against what the state has said. I don't know how she's going to be taking in money in the future. I don't know how any of you who paid are going to get your money back. And that is really, really concerning to me. It really is. So if you have booked the Conjuring House and you've paid anything, you need to contact your bank, your credit card companies, and just let them know. Let them know that this business closed down. Let them get you your money back. I don't foresee this going in a positive way by any means. And if you want to check
No.
out the story, I'll put the link below. But you can just go to the Providence Journal, which is a paper right here in Rhode Island. And you can see right where it says state files orders to close the Conjuring House for business. And they explain the reasons why. And according to messages that she sent us yesterday, to be honest, I guess Fair Harbor has shut down her accounts because of the complaints of people paying and not getting what they paid for, or just, I guess, many different reasons when it comes down to that. But again, please spread the word. Just boycott the place. Contact the banks. Let them know what has happened. Contact your credit card companies. Let them know what has happened if you've paid. And let's just pray this comes to a positive end. And I don't know. But I have to be honest. I'm concerned. I'm concerned where this is going. I'm concerned that this is going to be bad. So
Hopefully
anyways,
not.
much love from me all to you. Stay safe. Keep it real, and on to the next.
Whew. Okay. That was it. Okay. That was apparently the business has been shut down or should not be doing business anymore. I think he's right, though. I think this is coming to an end. This is coming to an end, and we won't have to make videos on it anymore, which is kind of, exciting in a sense. Don't get me wrong. I do like talking about certain things in the world that are going on, especially with places like the Conjuring House or maybe other locations and whatnot. I actually am a fan of true crime stuff, and this has kind of delved into the true crime a little bit with her like doing that whole police chase. So obviously this is something that I was going to talk about because I talked about stuff like this on my channel before. It's unfortunate. It's sad. You don't like to hear it. You don't like to see it. It's hopefully this ends in a positive way, like Jason Hawes said. Hopefully it ends in a positive way. Hopefully she just accepts what has happened and just moves on and gets the help she needs and all that stuff. I hope that's at the end of the day what happens and not something more drastic and not something more intense, because clearly and obviously with the way she's been acting, that wouldn't surprise me either. Something big like this happening. I mean, apparently she's running events still at the Conjuring house, so like I don't know what, if the police ever found out, I'm not sure how that would go. But Jason even putting that out there might be a little bit of a threat, like to her, doing that kind of stuff, because the police might look at that and say, oh, if she's really running events right now, then we need to really kind of keep our eyes on it and ask her why she has people at the location, or why she's having, people doing investigations still and things like that, because I'm sure that could probably get her arrested alone, just going against what the state had ordered her to do. And yeah, pretty concerning stuff, pretty alarming. Obviously this was inevitable. I think it was always going to happen with the way she's been acting. It's about time the state actually stepped in and did something, because a lot of people were actually criticizing that, like, why hasn't the state actually stepped in and got something done about this? And the fact of the matter is that apparently 2 weeks ago, they stepped in and told her to stop doing it. And apparently she hasn't stopped. So that's going to come back and bite her, I'm sure. But again, earlier I predicted that. I'm like, I almost don't even know if she's going to stop doing it. And apparently she hasn't. We'll keep an ear out. If something else happens, I will obviously make a video about it. Like if it's serious. If it's not serious, I probably won't make a post about it. But if it's like a serious situation where she actually does something drastic, or who knows, or maybe like the events after her court date and what it says, then I might make something. But I think this is getting to the point where it's getting so close to being over that you might even start seeing less and less Conjuring House drama videos. It's not a bad thing. It's finally coming to an end where finally something was done and finally something was officially, like, it just started to end. And that's exciting, because I think everybody needs to just, once this business shuts down, everybody can go about doing their lives again. The people involved can actually seek the help they need, and hopefully people will get their money back and all this stuff. And then one day I hope the house opens up again to the business and actually is a positive place. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will certainly see you all in the next video. Please do take care.
Throwing down, coming after me. If you can't stay, can't through, you won't be meant to.